So this was me defending against my Facebook friend, and I thought I'd make a video about it because it went very well. 90% versus victory, 90% you can see in the corner here, 10% for him. Allied attack, so he had a lot more points. But I got to choose my equipment, and he just went with random equipment. But even still, I think the equipment he had could have done better than what he did. Um, so basically, you can see the flags here. He was attacking from this side. I could set up anywhere around like this area. And pretty clearly, it's very difficult, if not impossible, to get armored vehicles down this side of the map. So he has to bring them through this gap. So that very clearly suggested um, setting up my anti-tank guns there. I bought all my equipment not knowing what the map would be and what his equipment would be. So I was just kind of guessing that normally they give a tank and some infantry. Um, so I set up three 37mm AT guns. Here, my thinking was I want all of them firing at the same time at the same target to take out whatever that target is. And that's exactly what happened, and it worked beautifully for me. That he brought his T-34 in down this path. I had them all with covered arcs, vehicle target arcs, and they all went at it when it was already far enough away that like far enough into the kill zone that it didn't have a chance of getting out. So they took it out. They ran out of their hollow charge ammunition. They took out some other um, light vehicles. That one got knocked out by the gun. This one also got knocked out by, I think, this gun. Um, and he brought in the Valentine 3 later, but apparently it only has anti AP ammo, so that's not great. That's not what he needs. He needs high explosive to take out my infantry here. So he initially brought his infantry straight down this way, and then my MG34 heavy machine gun, which I set up there basically to cover this approach. These marshes were blocking line of sight to this area, so basically any tanks he had over here would not be able to see my heavy machine gun. Any infantry that he brought over here, um, my heavy machine gun could engage them as they came down. What else? So yeah, he initially brought his infantry down this way, heavy machine gun engaged them. He then brought them down this way, which was, I thought, the most obvious infantry avenue of approach. Um, and that's why I set up my infantry here to expect that. These are marshes, so they don't block line of sight, but they very much slow down infantry, so it's basically suicide for any infantry to try to go across this. Um, I had this gun I bought, I thought it was going to be an anti-tank gun, and ended up being a high explosive anti-personnel infantry gun, but it worked beautifully. It was perfect. It's just like having a tank in your, like a tank that can't move around in terms of how damaging the weapon, the high explosive is. So yeah, I had these guys with covered arcs to wait until he brought this squad down. They all engaged it. I then used my 50mm mortar to target this area. And then I also had one of my guns target this area. Um, and really, at the point that he lost the T-34, I thought it was over for him. Like, I would have just given up just to save myself time. He rushed through two armored cars. Um, One thing he did is he had his 50mm mortar doing an area fire against my AT guns. It took out one, and it made me set the other one to hide. And when this one was hiding, he snuck past these two vehicles, and this one gun wasn't able to take them out before they could get past. Well, I guess it took out this one at one point. Um, but yeah, basically he brought his infantry down. They got close enough that my gun could engage them. Um, when he had some infantry like ganging up on one of my squads, I used smoke to block their line of sight. Um, and yeah, he really didn't get close to taking anything. You can see here the relative. I mean, I just totally destroyed the squad. Um, the number of casualties, the relative number of casualties is dramatic. Yeah, so it was interesting. So basically, what I would have done if I was him is try to go down a less obvious, um, like basically my opinion of combat mission is basically if you have your heavy weapons, you're going to be in good shape. So you really want to, if as the attacker, make sure you take care of your tank and your armored vehicles. So what I would have done is I would have said, okay, this is clearly an avenue of approach that it's like a kill zone. Um, so I would have, oh wow, actually, if you put them here, you might not even be able to get them out of there. Interesting. Well, I might have just, so one of the questions that we had was whether or not you can get vehicles through these little gaps here. And I'm not sure if you can or not. I'll have to test that. Um, but what I would have done is at least put some of these, maybe put everything, but at least put some of these the armored cars over here, bring them up to this area, and have them try to support an infantry attack. Let me see if they can get line of sight. Yeah, a bit. It's tough. Yeah, it's tough because we got this hill here. So even if he gets the vehicles here, I mean, what he really needs to do is he needs to get them through this gap here. Um, because even if the infantry get here, they're gonna get into view of these these guys hiding back behind the hill. So yeah, it's a tough situation. But I would have loved to have. I wish this game had like a auto replay feature like the driver game does on PlayStation 1. So that would, because this would be a great one to have a replay of. Yeah, so that was that.